in to FentonTV.com and our show, 5 Minutes of Fame in Fenton. I'm your host, Rob Harris. Again, thanks for tuning in. I'm changing up today's show format for two important reasons. Our last guests were from the Fenton Village Players, and they have a play going on right now called The Addams Family, and their giveaway, for the giveaway portion, is 2 sets of 2 tickets each, and I wanted to get those tickets out to you, the winner, and I'll explain how you can be a winner as soon as possible. The other reason is it's been a busy summer. I haven't taken the time to line up our next guest, and again, I wanted to get those tickets out for the Fenton Village Players as soon as possible. But also on August 8th, just a little bit ago, I was a proud attendee of the Fenton Alumni Association's triannual all-class reunion. I was privileged to take my grandfather, Bob Harris, who was the oldest attendee, class of 1941, and I, in the class of 1987, was by far the youngest attendee. So we had the oldest and the youngest attendees represented by the Harris family right there at that table. During that event, we had the president of the Fenton Alumni Association, Nancy Parkin, give what I thought was a beautiful speech, not only going through the history of the Fenton Alumni Association and all of their accomplishments, but she also put out a call to action. I thought this was a very powerful speech. I asked Nancy if I'd be able to share this with our FentonTV.com viewing audience on YouTube or on Facebook, and she reluctantly said yes. I think she was just a little shy and bashful. She wasn't maybe as sure as how powerful of a presentation she put together, but I was definitely impressed with her words, and then made the decision for this episode of 5 Minutes of Fame in Fenton to use that video. So with no further ado, let's turn to the video and meet Nancy Parkin.
Rosa Marchese was the president at that time, and Joan Derry was the one that got the incorporation thing going and completed that project. In 1985, there was an alumni banquet. There were 790 people then, but they didn't move around as much as the folks do nowadays. Then there was, the alumni was responsible for moving the World War II monuments that were on the old Phillips Field. If any of you remember that, they were moved to in front of the Furlong building. That was the alumni that did that. And then Pauline Foley was responsible to chair a project, the flower garden that was placed at the old school. It was between a couple of sections, and the fountain thing from the kindergarten room was there too. And then in 1994, there were many of us who were members then. Bob Derry was the president, and he had a dream, and that dream was alumni scholarships. Those of us that were on that supported him, and through his wisdom and the support of his committee, that was all of us that were there, that money was placed in an endowment fund in the Community Foundation of Greater Flint. That money came from people that he went out and visited, along with a couple of other people. I know Kurt Schuback was involved in that. And that money came from the classes from the 30s, the 40s, and the 50s, a little bit from the 60s, and some from the 70s. There was a lot of money that was donated, was put in that fund, and through some really smart investments up there and some more donations, that fund has grown wonderfully well, and it is an endowment fund that will never be touched. The scholarships are given only because of the interest earned. The largest donation that we received from one individual was a man in California back in 2006 when we sent out our flyers for that alumni reunion. And the invitation went to his wife. And he called me contacted me, and he said that his wife and his son had died recently, but because of her love for Fenton High School, he gave us $75,000. One other wonderful gift we've just received yesterday, as a matter of fact, let's hear it for the class of 1953. They had $509 left, and one of their class members had been holding it, and they'd been talking about it, and you know, my sister was one of the ones that said, how about the scholarship fund? But it was several years ago, and they finally wrote the check. So we have $509 more to add to that scholarship fund. And a lot of people that are not here tonight but did respond with dues and or donations, just small donations, but those small donations amount to $410. That will go into the endowment fund. We have given, including this year, 97 scholarships since 1995. The accumulative amount is $150,500. Sadly, because interest in the alumni has been declining, that's the bad news. That's the sad news for us. But the good news is, the alumni back in 1994 prepared for this possibility, and as long as there's a Fenton High School, 5 seniors will receive scholarships from the alumni. It has been set up that way, and as long as any of us are willing to participate in making that decision of who those people are, that's fine and dandy. But if none of us are, then the school will do that. They have our criteria that they must follow in order to select those people, albeit they'll do it a little different than us probably, but anyway, the criteria that we use is they must have a 2.5 grade point average, they have to express financial need, they have to have been involved with extracurricular activities at school, and we have requested that they write a letter to the Alumni Association telling us how they see themselves being involved as an alumnus in the future. The scholarship started out a couple, 3, maybe, sometimes it was only $500, but for the past several years, all 5 have been over $2,000. This year they were $2,300. We give one scholarship, we call it vocational tech. It's a trade school. We're very proud of that. I get so excited about that one, I can hardly sit still, because there's just a lot of kids out there who aren't four-year college material, but they want to better themselves and they want a trade. And so we give them a scholarship, the same dollar amount, and then 4 for college-bound students. That is part of our history. That is a legacy. And in 2003, I asked the principal of the school if I could come and talk to the senior class. I really wanted to talk to them in the beginning of the year, but that never seemed to work. But I have talked to them, and then others have talked to them. Every year, someone has talked to them at the day before their graduation to welcome them as an alumni and encourage them and tell them we think about them. And then, of course, every year I've gotten older, so this year I even gave them a little motherly grandmother talk, and I said, be safe, be smart, you know, we don't want anything to happen to you. The other thing that happened about that same time was, this one was suggested by Bud Curtis, and he suggested that we start the Hall of Fame. We did it. We've inducted many, and we have a couple people here. Bob Harris, Ken Seeger. Ken, I can't find you, Ken. Ken, raise your hand. Okay. So those 2 are inducted, but along with others. And if any of you have never seen that Hall of Fame, by all means, go up to that school sometime. You have to buzz to get in these days, but they'll open the door for you. And check out all those wonderful people that came before or are still around. Now, With all that being said, there's your history. There's our history. There's a lot to be proud of. And now we have to talk about the facts of life. Some years have passed or flown by, and perhaps age has entered the picture, because I think there's a few more of us here with lighter hair than darker hair. The classes that are represented here are pretty much the same classes that have come for the past many reunions. Our attendance last year was 200, a little bit over 200, and up until this year, we sent out invitations or flyers or announcements to the entire school. That's lots of thousands of people. We can't afford that. We couldn't afford that this year. So we only sent them out to the classes of 1940 through 1970, hoping that then emails and Facebook and advertisements in the newspaper, word of mouth and whatever, would get to anyone else that would want to come. We've tried for the last 2 years to make a presence at the Freedom Festival with a booth, but we need help. We're selling pins, but we need help. Joe Samarick has secured Old Classic alumni cars for the 4th of July parade, but someone else needs to take over. We had an alumni tent at the Fenton High School homecoming game last year. And the interesting part is the thing that drew the most attention was that sign right over there showing all the homecoming queens from 1946 through 2013 at that time. And that list had been kept by Phyllis Samarick, another good historian. Ken Seeger has protected our history for years. He did save many trophies from being thrown into the garbage by the school administration. Ken Seeger saved our rock when the current administration was going to bury it for good. Oh my, quiet Ken, anything but quiet then. You should have heard him. Oh my goodness. But Ken is tired, and in fact he has retired from the museum, if you didn't know that. So we need people to help protect the history. We've had some other new ideas, but we are few. The baby of our committee has suddenly got gray hair, and that would be Barb Soika, class of 1969. She is the youngest person on our committee. A lot of our committee goes to Florida in the winter, so we had an opportunity to sell pins at the basketball games, but we just didn't have the folks, we didn't have the bodies to help us. We have Bob Harris, who writes books. He's working on another one and has graciously offered to sell books and donate that money to the alumni. So there it is, folks. That's the facts of life. So we think about our future, and excuse me, suddenly I hear tonight, I'll help with the next one, we'll get involved, we'll help, and that's a beautiful thing, it's a beautiful gift. We will meet on August 24th at Johnny's for a wrap-up of this reunion. We encourage you to come and be with us. We will determine at that time how often after that there will be meetings, because I expect some of us will meet somewhere as long as we're alive. Well, there's that Friday night or Friday at noon on the 14th. We're going to be at Walden's, right, Joe? 2 or 3 of us are going to be there. You never know where you might find us, but if it's Joe, you can rest assured it's about our past and our future. Tonight, once again, I want to thank the people who did this. I want to really, really thank Ginger and Barb. Ginger really has worked herself silly.
She didn't make very much.
I don't want to leave you with any sadness, because it's not sad. We have grand memories. We have a grand history. We are grand people. And we came from an era, we came from that time where Fenton was little. We could go all over town because everybody's parents they were all watching out for us. It was a grand, grand time. And things are changing. But it is what it is. Come be with us on the 24th of August, or let us know that you're interested. Talk to somebody. All those names in that program, there's phone numbers there as well. 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock at Johnny's. Sometimes somebody eats and sometimes the rest of us just drink. I didn't name any names, but I will if you want. So with that in mind, I would like very, very much to remind you to stay here and keep talking and keep remembering and move from table to table to table and share all your good, happy thoughts and your good, happy memories. But right now, lift that glass. Lift that glass. I don't care what it has in it, but you got to have something in it. And this is a toast to the Fenton High School alumni.
Very good presentation, and we do have a call to action. So if you would like to help reinvigorate the Fenton Alumni Association, especially with some younger blood, anybody's welcome, but especially if you're younger, please plan on attending the meeting at Johnny's Pizzeria on August 24th. That's a Monday at 7 p.m. The Fenton Alumni Association could sure use your assistance in keeping this program going. We've now reached the giveaway portion of our show. Again, the Fenton Village players are going to be giving away 2 sets of 2 tickets. The way that you win these giveaways is to comment below. If you are seeing this video on Facebook, on the FentonTV.com Facebook page, comment below. If you're seeing it on other Facebook pages, as you share this video with your friends to get the word out and help spread the word about what's going on in our beautiful Fenton, Michigan. Comment below. I'll try and find those and enter you into the drawing. I'm going to continue to do that as well if you comment on the YouTube channel. And if you can't find that, go to FentonTV.com, click on the show 5 Minutes of Fame in Fenton. That'll take you right to our YouTube channel. And if you comment directly on the YouTube site below the video there, I'm going to put your name in twice for the drawings. So with no further ado, I'm going to randomly select the two people to win the tickets to the Addams Family production by the Fenton Village Players. And the first recipient is Timothy Terrapenning. I really hope I said your name right. You got 2 tickets to the show that is now being performed, The Addams Family by the Fenton Village Players. And the second recipient is, oh, this is a YouTube comment entry, RGR 1087. If either one of you are watching the show right now and you want to get your tickets ASAP, please do call the Fenton Village Players at 810-750-7700. They'll make arrangements for you to pick up those tickets at will call. Also, again, and thank you very much, Fenton Village Players, for that giveaway. We really appreciate that. And don't forget the Fenton Alumni, the Fenton High School Alumni Association meeting at Johnny's Pizzeria this August 24th, 2015 at 7 p.m. For additional information on the Alumni Association, you can go to FentonAlumni.org. FentonAlumni.org, and you can get additional information on their history. The next all-class reunion coming up in 3 more years. And thank you very much, Nancy, for giving me permission to use your awesome presentation on this show, 5 Minutes of Fame in Fenton. And with that, we'll just say, hey, Fenton, thanks for giving us 5. Take care and be well.
Take this pitch right here. Are we all ready? Stand up and cheer. Stand up and cheer for Fenton High. For today we're made the orange and black of the sky. Our boys are fighting, for they are about to win the fray. We got the steam, hurrah, hurrah! We got the steam, hurrah, hurrah! For this is Fenton's victory day. Fly, fly, fly! Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you for watching 5 Minutes of Fame in Fenton.
Be sure to share this video with your friends and family.
Subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Be sure to click that like button.
Hey, would you like to appear on this show, or do you know somebody that should? Please send us your ideas for the shows at ideas@FentonTV.com.
Ideas at FentonTV.com.
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 Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned and be well.